I'm going to kind of go over not necessarily how to win a game because it's just bots, they're really easy, but how to press your advantage, things you can do. I'll show you. So, welcome guys to the first entry in the series where I teach you guys how to play Risk. This is a bot game to start it off, so no risk really, just kind of me teaching you some basic introductory stuff to get you further progressed in your Risk career. Now this is world domination on classic, setup is auto, turn timer, it's a bot game. AI difficulty is expert, ranked, obviously not. Card bonus fixed, balance blitz, alliance is off, fog of war off, blizzard's off, and inactivity behavior is neutral, but it's really not because it's a bot game. So, there's a couple things that I want to highlight when I'm talking about this game for you. Now, clearly I'll win this regardless, but this is more of a teaching experiment for you guys. I will play this a little bit differently just because I know how bots play. However, a couple things that you want to do when you're starting off: go to your settings, see camera animations right here. Let me show you what this does. With it on, let me find an easy take real quick, right? And I'll put all my troops in Australia because it's a bot game. You see how it goes in and out of the map? That takes time out of your attack phase. So when you're in an actual game and you do that, that's other things that you have to keep in mind along with that and that. So that's quite a bit of time. So let me show you the difference of that versus without camera animations. So say you turn that off, right? And you do a little 3v1 over here, not going to let the bot hold first turn. See how much faster that was? You just saved 2/3 of that entire attack that you can now use to planning and attacking for the rest of your turn. Definitely something that every high level player does, something that you can use in your own gameplay, and something that I think is really powerful but simple to do that anyone can do that dramatically impacts your game. Secondly, you do want to secure a bonus, of course. Since this is a bot game, I'll be going for Australia, but if it was a human game, 9 times out of 10 don't. The main reason why you don't want to go for Australia: there's a lot of players who are under the impression that no Australia, no win. What does that mean? If you can't get Australia, there's no point in playing. So you'll see players who are nowhere near Australia going for this bonus. It has no benefit to them, it's the smallest bonus in the game, and it's a really bad late game position. Not that you can't win from it, because I have won from Australia quite a few times, but it's really just not a position you want to put all of your effort into every single game. So what you normally see is there will be, like, say this, there's probably not quite as many troops down here. I'm obviously going for it because bots are very easy to manipulate. But when you're in your player games, there will be people, say, yellow. They would put all their troop mass here and just blast in trying to get this bonus, which the bot kinda did, but not really. The bot's going for Asia. We will lose our 2 and our 1 to purple, which is fine. I was expecting to lose this to them anyway next turn, so that just kind of bought me a little bit. So now we're in a position to where we can start taking our own bonuses. So we're just going to get an easy take on the pink player. Again, not something I would recommend if you're going against humans. That's a waste of a lot of troops, but with this being a bot game, really doesn't matter all that much. So we're going to go through these turns a few times and just kind of get to where I can teach you a few other things that I was thinking about. So, when you're attacking with a troop, you want to use 3 troops if it's 1. Basically whatever the minimum blitz win chance is for 100. Because say if you risk 2, you don't get the full 100. If you risk 4, you still do, but you could lose up to 2 troops doing that. You'll obviously have the troop that goes forward, and you'll have the troop that stays back, but you could lose an extra troop just by using your slider wrong. Personally, I think they should default it to not being that way, but it's something that is in the game. So, the other thing I want to bring to attention is when you're going to do attacks, assuming your players know you're a good player, speed is key. It can come in clutch in certain situations, late game especially, speed is the most important factor. Speed and pathing. So, when I go to take these two, watch this. That's about how fast your turns want to be. That was even a little slow. It doesn't seem like a huge thing, but when you're in a position against a player, that can be the difference of you winning and losing. So definitely something for you to keep in mind. Alright, we're going to make that a 9, and we're going to make that a 5. So a 5v2 is always 100%. Definitely something you want to keep in charge of your games. So while you're playing, you'll get different cards. I try my absolute hardest not to set in unless I have an infantry, a cavalry, and artillery. Obviously, you might get only infantry. You might get, I don't know, 3 jokers. Jokers you want to hang on to as much as you can while still maximizing your troop payout. So that's something you want. Now with bot manipulation, the white bot couldn't hit my 4, but it could break the purple bot's bonus, so that's what it went for. So now our position in this game, since we're the only player, granted we're the only player, since we're the only entity that has a bonus, we're going to start pushing our advantage. How do we do this? Well, this is fixed, so normally you don't want to go for eliminations, but with how the game sits currently, we can see yellow has 4 cards. Yellow also only has 7 troops. So we can trade in, take their cards, assuming they don't trade in, which they didn't, so they'll have 5. And we can eliminate them for all 5 cards. Every card is worth roughly 3-ish troops. So what do I mean by that? Well, here, let me fast forward. So what do I mean by it's worth roughly 3-ish troops? You see how we traded in those 3 cards for 10? That's a little bit more than 3, but you won't always get a 10 set, but with the correct technique, you can more times than not. So, when we're doing this, we're going to be eliminating the yellow player. Something you can do is you can use a smaller attack and move less troops. You see I only moved 2 up there by attacking with 2. It's not a 100% chance, but when you need troops for battle, it can be huge. So, just something to keep in mind as you're progressing through your games. And you'll see that we get the elimination on the yellow player. This gives us 5 cards. This allows us to trade in turn, which allows us to spiral a bit more out of control. So now, not only did we just take out a player, we got more cards. So what do we see from here? We have 3 cards, pink has 2, that could be 5 if we can get the elimination, and it looks like we should have enough troop mass to be able to do that. So we're going to go ahead and start what's called a spiral. You go through and you attack, and keep on going. Odds are we'll get the kill, and we do here. So that allows us to force trade again in turn, which puts us in a very strong position. Now in 1 turn we've managed to go, or 2 turns we've managed to go from the weakest player with 15 troops to the strongest player with 45 troops, still on turn with 10 more troops to be placed. So, logic dictates we break this bonus, and then we wait a turn. But what we could do is we could also attack the white player. Now, what are the odds of us getting that? Not as much as I would like them to be, so we're not going to go for that yet, but we will. So we're going to put a soft guard here, and we're also going to build up some troops down here, and we're going to transition to the next phase of our turn. So what have we done in this turn? We managed to secure a defense on Australia. We eliminated 2 different players. There's 2 players who don't have a bonus. The bot is going to break the purple player. Correct. Bots will favor most times if you have a bigger troop stack than the player that it can break next to them, breaking the player than anything else. So this turn, what can we do? We can proceed to... I haven't been recording this. I'm going to have to get this off Twitch. Oh well. So now it's our next turn. We're in a really good position here, and we actually have a 10 trade. So who has the most cards that we could benefit from? Purple does at the moment. We can eliminate the purple player from here. So that's exactly what we're going to do. If we eliminate purple and then white, which... Ooh. How do I want to path this? How many is that? That's 1, 2, 4. Let's say we put 7. Let's put 8 troops up there. This should still be enough. So we'll path around. It'll be close, but I think we should still be able to pull it off. And if not, it's really not a big deal. Wow, that was a horrible roll. We still have the winning position regardless, so there's purple eliminated. If we had gotten a better roll, we could have also gotten the white player, but it's not too big a deal because now we have control over the majority of the map. We have a really good position, and we have a guaranteed bonus guarded while no one else does. So turn progresses, and I think if we don't win this turn, we win next turn. So let's put a 5 there. Looks like we get enough troops from this player if we do this. So what we do, we break him here and just use our troop mass up while we can. Kind of surprised that went as far as it did. And we finish the game out by eliminating the white player. We force trade. I think we actually get a decent trade too. Yeah, we do get the big trade. And we have 4 cards again. So that's an easy way on how you can spiral in the game and get the easy win. I hope this was informational for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. Definitely. I thought that was a bot that friended me. I don't know who that was. I hope this was informational for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing more in this series. I couldn't get too many lobbies going the way I wanted them to be able to teach you guys what I wanted, but I hope this was very informational for you nonetheless. So stay tuned for Wednesday's video. Wednesday is actually going to be changing on what I upload because since the tournament is over, I'm going to go back to bouncing back and forth between Risk videos on Strategic Saturday / Sunday if I get busy on Saturday, and other videos on Wednesdays. So Wednesday, I might have something new for you guys to see. But if you're here only for the Risk content, only to get better, I completely understand. Don't you worry, Risk content's not going anywhere for a long time. Tune in to that. It'll be basically every weekend, and of course I'll be streaming, so catch me out on Twitch, catch me on Facebook Live, basically anything. Hit the follow, hit the subscribe, whatever you gotta do to make sure you're getting the best content possible and getting it as fast or as quicker as the trigger would like. So, appreciate you tuning in. Peace, YouTube.